And I'll just give an example. Like I made that comment on your thing the other day. I had like 76 by that morning. By the end of the day, I was down to 50 because they blew me up with that many $2, 5, 7 mile orders. And it's like there's no way in the world that you can even break even on a $2 order for 7 miles.
Yeah. Same thing happened to me. My percentage dropped 30% in 4 days.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is this. And I love how people want to say and to say, I'm not a tinfoil hat person. Like I said, I've been around YouTube for 10 plus years. I'm not known in this sector as the Dasher sector, but people who know me in the other sectors know that one of the things I go on, I have never been caught in a lie. That's one of my cardinal rules. No stealing, no lying. Those are the two rules I came and I changed when I stopped stealing. No stealing and don't lie, because a man is not worth nothing if he's a thief or a liar.
I hear you. Listen, the conversation has gone a little left, but I'm okay with that because I like organically we have different combos. I would love for you, Dre, or a Judge. I would love for you to hop off the live and give me the 175 screenshots. I'll give you 5 minutes. I can bring you back up on the screen. I would love to see.
I'm pretty sure I got one on this phone. Hold on a second.
I'm gonna exit you, and then you come back in at 5, and then I want to see 175. I've never seen $1.75 on DoorDash. I want to make a video.
I got one.
So come back.
Let's see.
I'll show you guys those. Sound good?
All right, I'm looking now.
All right. $1.75. I've never seen it. It's crazy. Okay, so Scola says Dre does have a point. They could definitely send a big YouTuber like Pedro good orders. Man, I wish. Listen, y'all, I would love for DoorDash. Let me be selfish for a minute. I would love for DoorDash to send me really good orders all the time. Now, do I feel like there are times it feeds me good ones because my acceptance rate has been a little higher? I definitely do believe that to be true sometimes. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. If I went out tomorrow and every order was $10, I'd make a video and I'd be so happy. I'd be grinning ear to ear. I'd be like, oh my God, guys, I don't know what's going on. And I'd make a video about that. But I don't think the DoorDash is looking at me saying, we got to feed this guy orders so that the content is more favorable. I just don't believe it. I don't know. I think
it's kind of the problem with conspiracy theorists, Pedro, is they don't actually think about the amount of work that it would take to do the thing that they're saying is a conspiracy theory. There's millions and millions and millions of Dashers. So they have a secret department somewhere in a back corner that is catering to YouTube content providers. Hey, here's Pedro over here. We're going to dedicate a whole department to change the algorithm and send Pedro the good. It's ridiculous.
I wish. Listen, I would love to make more money, but I don't.
I mean, I create content.
But it wouldn't actually be that hard for them to change that, my friend. It really wouldn't. They could just give him, increase it by 10%. There's a lot of things they can do to manipulate it. Just look what they do with new drivers.
There's the Top Dasher program. If you follow that program, it's been said by DoorDash that you will receive better offers. It's kind of that Plinko system where it goes into the system. The best available driver with the best stats might get the good order first, and it kind of drops down the Plinko system. We talked about this for months now, but I mean, just the idea. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with the idea that if you badmouth a company on YouTube, DoorDash or not, but you just constantly slamming a company or you're saying they're stealing money, that DoorDash might deactivate you based on bad public comments, but giving you better access to orders.
Let me tell you guys something. So I've been trying to get onto LOP for 4 months. I just somebody sent me a link to get on the waiting list. I've called support. So if DoorDash is special feeding me orders, don't you think they want me to be on the large order program when all my metrics match? Because then I'd be able to show you guys $30, $40, $50 orders consistently. So I think we have to also, that's a fact. Like, wouldn't I be on the large order program? Wouldn't they cater my account and give me those big, nice catering orders? I'd show them every day because I make a video every day. So logically, for anybody to think that they're feeding my account, it doesn't make any logical sense because I've actually called DoorDash probably 12 times in the last 4 months, and I'm still not on the program.
Don't you think they'd prioritize you? I've been trying to get on the LOP. I've been a Top Dasher, and what I've been told by support is the large order program in my market is full. And as soon as a spot becomes available, if I'm a Top Dasher at the time, I'll be considered for it. So it may be the same thing in St. Louis. It's just full. But great point by you. If they're shilling You know, there's all this shilling going
Then
back.
I should be on the large order
Wouldn't
program.
they give you everything you want, Pedro, since you talk nice about them? I mean, I'm just so sick of that conspiracy.
I want them to give me all that stuff. I'm greedy. I want to make more money. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to not, you know, I'm just organically going to show you guys what I get. But Chris, in Australia, do you guys have some kind of catering option with DoorDash? Do you see those? How does that work over there?
You guys are so far in advance on that kind of stuff. We have no catering programs. We have no pizza programs. Essentially, even our Top Dasher program, like these diamond programs that you guys are talking about, we don't have that. So we have Top Dasher, and that has Dash Anytime as the only perk for it. But now, because we've got an open schedule, Top Dash is irrelevant. You can log in anytime you want anyway. So,
wow, interesting.
Yeah.
So you guys are so new to it, right? It's like they're almost still just testing out how you market and how you guys like to work, what you value, you know. So it's still in infancy, it seems like. So
a lot of A/B testing they're doing with us, so that they're open schedules and stuff like that. Yeah, because we don't have tips coming in. From what I've seen, a lot 50% of what you guys are pulling in is from tips. We don't have that, and Australians just, you know, we do tip sometimes, but it's just not common over here. And the concept
how do you get a different amount then for an offer? Why does it change?
It's on distance. So we have a base of, you know, call it, depending on your area, maybe it's $2 or maybe it's $4, whatever it might be, or whatever they're testing on the day or the given week. And then a payment per kilometer as well. The lowest they offer us on a standard order is $5.50. The most is $25. And then so if you get like an 80-kilometer order, you shouldn't accept that, but you'll be capped at $25. You cannot get any more for that.
Wow,
that's kind of the same way with DoorDash. If you guys have done AutoZone orders, I've been doing a lot of those lately, where you go pick up like some brake pads or whatever, and you deliver it to like a Brakes Plus. It's all base pay. There's no tip on there. Brakes Plus isn't tipping. AutoZone isn't tipping. It's a flat rate. And like he said, kilometers, here it's miles, but it's just simply based on the distance, and it goes up or down based on the miles.
How much does one of those pay?
Usually $9.50 for 5 miles.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
I've done a couple. Done a couple. They're not that bad. There's not tips on them, but that's, you know, but you know what you're delivering. For me, if the mileage is okay, I have like no problem doing that.
And the order's always ready. It's always on the counter, 100%. You're not waiting for something to be cooked, or the fryer's down, or the milkshake machine's broken. It's just right there on the counter. Bang, in and out. I actually kind of like it. It's just like, you know, it's a 5 mile order. We're going to give you $9.50. Like, to me, that's fair all day long. Like, hey, Chris, are you in more of a rural zone, or are you at like a downtown metro area?
I'm on the Sunshine Coast in Australia, so it's kind of like a beachy bunch of suburbs all put together. About an hour outside of Brisbane, which is one of the capital cities. So it goes from high density, kind of high rise buildings out to rural within a 5-minute space.
So a big zone.
Yeah. Okay. Large zones. Like you know, you can drive for 45 minutes across from one end of a zone to another in one of the larger zones I dash in.
Wow.
Interesting.
So do you like it per mile then? Does it make sense for you profit wise?
It does. But the cadence to it, I guess, is the zones and going out of zone. So if you go too far out of zone, you got a long drive back in before you can get another offer again. And then you're just praying you're in the right area to be even close enough to a store or a business that can give you an order. Because if you're right on the boundary, right on the edge, you just don't get anything. If you're out of zone, it says looking for orders coming in. I've tested it here, and it just doesn't work.
Gotcha.
Interesting. I want to ask Parker real quick, and then I'll get to JP. I just want to ask just as a point of reference, Parker, what's your current acceptance rate in St. Louis?
I think like 52%. Let me check.
That's exactly what mine is right now, actually.
Really?
The Matrix, what's yours?
Say again.
What's your acceptance rate, the Matrix?
As of the end of today, 14%.
So pretty low. Chris, what in Australia? Obviously, the way you're working the app's going to be different. But what's your AR right now?
Yeah, 66% right now, and that's I feel that's a bit lower than the average Australian. But the guys in the middle of cities, they drop down to like 10%.
Yeah. JP, what about you? What's your acceptance rate?
Mine's the highest it's been in a month, and it's at 22%.
Oh, interesting. What happened this month to make it?
I don't have a clue as to why, but I've been getting, because it was down to about 8 to 10% for the last 10 days.
Yeah.
And I just started getting good order after good order after good order. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm shooting for $2 a mile. I'm not shooting for big numbers. And,
yeah,
I'll do an order that's as low as $6 if it's for a couple miles. But
sure. So in the States here, me and Parker have the highest acceptance rates between JP and the Matrix, and we're both in the same market. I'm not surprised by that, but it's interesting. JP, I think you wanted to add something to the convo before I asked about acceptance rate. Go ahead.
I had a question for Chris on what the average wage is there in Australia, because that's really what I look at, is more how much I earn per hour.
It's a really, really good point to raise, because we're seeing so much different. Like, each market is performing differently for it. We've got guys earning $40 an hour in certain areas. We've got guys earning $20 an hour below minimum wage in other areas. And it's hard to kind of drill down that to the respect of when are they working. Like, if people are working, 2:00 on a Wednesday afternoon, when no one's ordering food, lunch is done, it's not a busy time, and they're factoring that in because that's their normal working hours and it's dragging averages down. It's like, yeah, sure, okay, you're earning lower than other people because of that. So it's not a set wage or anything like that. But yeah, it's kind of varying between 20 to 40. Highest I've earned on DoorDash per hour is about $45 an hour, which probably about $35 American.
Yeah, I mean, I don't make anywhere near that kind of number with DoorDash. I look to make $30 to $35 an hour with all the apps that I work, but DoorDash is just a filler app for me. $150, $200 is about all I'm making in a week on DoorDash, but I'm making $1,800 on other apps. So that's what I think is the problem, is that DoorDash is looking for just people that want to work 5 and 6 hours a week on the app. My active time is only probably, 2 hours this week or 3 hours. And
JP, there's room for you on DoorDash because you're filling orders. You're actually, you're giving, what I'm saying, you're part of that machine. Now, you might be a part of a smaller cog, right? But the DoorDash still needs you, right? So for me, it's like, do me and Parker maybe on certain weeks, or the Matrix take more deliveries on DoorDash? Sure. But like, you're still filling in the gaps of when we might be on a delivery and you need to be, helping that marketplace deliver, facilitated delivery. There's value in that. And I think DoorDash knows that really well, that there's going to be drivers with 10% AR, drivers with 52, 66, 95. Red says her in the chat a minute ago, her acceptance rate's 95. So I think they know they need a balance, because I think if everybody's acceptance rate was 100%, it would be a shit show. It just would. Like, there wouldn't be enough money. Like, it would make drivers not happy, right? If everybody was at 100, maybe I'm wrong, but that's my opinion. And also, if everybody was at 10%, DoorDash would be pissed off. They wouldn't be able to fulfill enough orders. Customers would get food late. So I think they understand, and I think we as drivers also know, or at least have to understand, there has to be people with different acceptance rate levels. There has to be drivers working 80 hours, 60, some working 5 hours a week, right? There has to be that balance in order for people to kind of use it how they want. And I think DoorDash knows that. And I think they actually do a really good job of, some might call it manipulating that system, right? But I think they know it. And I think that they just, because we don't have to schedule, right? Especially on Uber, because we don't have to schedule, they know that. So they know that they have to just kind of feed us all what we are willing to take in those moments. So I don't know.
Pedro, something I forgot to mention before that I think is happening real quick with DoorDash in particular is that they're building their algorithm based on good interactions with customers, whether it be maybe a 5 rating. I find myself, now that I've gotten into this, I'm delivering to the same customers over and over and over every single day. Stop and Pay, I got a guy I deliver to 5 to 6 times a week. He tips $6 every single time. And even if I'm 5 miles away from the grocery store or 2 miles away, they send me the order. And I get it. And I'm like, that's my man, Ted, or whatever. I do the same shop and pays for the exact same customer. This one, Ashley, I deliver to her 6 times a week. It hits my phone every single time. And I'm just starting to notice that almost every delivery I accept, I've delivered to them before. It's like the customer, like if you had a good interaction or a good experience with your driver, maybe a 5-star rating is what I would think. They start to lock onto you like, okay, this person has placed an order. Is the matrix online? We're going to send it to him first.
I think there could be something to that. I think
that's part of that is part of the algorithm. I mean, that is factored in there. I only, like I say, maybe 5-6 hours a week, and that's total time. And I'm doing other apps at that time, so my active time is more like 3 hours or 4 hours, and I get the same customers at least throughout the week. I'll have at least 4 or 5 of the customers I deliver to be the same that I've done, 50 other times. So
is that DoorDash or other other apps?
That's in DoorDash. And other apps, it's a lot higher than that. But I do a lot of shopping apps now, and I do a lot of catering apps, and it's the same thing with the catering and shopping. If you get a good rating from them, they're going to send it to you first because they want,
regardless of your acceptance rate or top dasher status.
Correct.
Right?
They don't care about any of that. They want you to have it because they know the customer is happy. That's about the only part of the customer rating they care about. They don't care about yours. Mine's been a 5.0 for, it's been over a year. But I don't, like I said, I don't do a lot of the actual DoorDash, but it's the same on the other apps that I do. And but I can tell you they do. There are 3 restaurants in the catering app that I work most frequently that actually have written in to deliver that and said, please send these to him first. And that's a wonderful way to get to know that you're going to get $30 to $40 for every offer.
Well, I think it makes sense that DoorDash would do that, but I also think, and I'm in agreement with that. I think there could be some truth there, and you guys, chime in at any moment. But I also think, at least for me, when I work, I'm out very similar times of the day, most of the same days of the week. And I think when our consumers order, the ones that order often are ordering the same times of the day, same times of the week. We're mostly working in the same zone. So Parker knows if I'm in Webster Groves, and I've seen him in Webster Groves, Parker's delivered to me, right? So if I'm out on a Monday at noon and Parker orders at 12:15 a lot, and I've delivered him a couple times, it's not too much of a coincidence that I might see his order because I'm in that area. So I think it's also a mixture of that. The times that you dash, the area that you dash, it's not going to be uncommon to see the same consumer. It happens to me for sure. And I think it could also obviously also be a rating thing. They gave you 5 stars. They tipped you well. You gave them a good rating or a thumbs up or whatever, a smiley face in the app like they used to. I think it's smart on their end to pair those consumers with drivers that had a favorable experience on both ends, because that the likelihood of it being favorable again is skyrocketed, right? Versus giving it to Parker, or maybe he's never delivered to Luis down the street, but I have 10 times. Of course I should take that order because he knows me, I know him. You know what I mean?
But that's a good part of DoorDash that Uber Eats does not participate in at all. Uber Eats is all over